because really this is helping you to set yourself up for success in 2023. And what does success mean? It means something different for everybody. We all have different meanings of it. Some of us measure success by money. Some of us measure success by heart, by soul, by connections, by the people that we've met in our lives. We measure them in different ways. I have various measurements of success. The financial is just one of them. The financial is one that I can actually tangibly see the results, right? The other ones, when I've connected with a whole bunch of different people in my life, it's a different sort of just a different sort of success. But I can feel it. I can feel it. Like these words, they embody us. The success embodies us. And good thing he listens. Pup doesn't. I'm glad it was him barking. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to move to our speaker, who is Alice Pallum. I met Alice a few years ago, and I'm so glad that you came into my life, Alice, and excited to hear what you're going to share today. She is a #1 best-selling author. Wait a minute, Alice, you are a #1 international award-winning best-selling author. You forgot about the award-winning. You totally left that off your bio. Add that to your bio. And she is a time. There you go. Write that down right now. She's a time navigation ninja and an accountability master. Today, she's going to be talking about how to take control and navigate your time and the key concepts of navigating your time and taking control. No more wondering where your time goes and why nothing gets done. Alice, the floor is yours. You got 15 minutes. And so are you able to see me?
Yes.
Okay. So when you have how many minute warning would you like?
2.
Okay, a 2-minute warning. I'll go like this. Peace, man. Peace. Okay. The floor is yours.
All right. Thank you. And I totally agree, Linda. I'm so happy I met you. Doing that first book was a great growth opportunity for me. As you might recall from the conversations we had about if I wanted to even write about that stuff. But I won't give it all away. That's in the Fearless Entrepreneurs. Fearless, do more if you want to read more about it. I love this topic because for me, time management is so bureaucratic and managey, right? I love time navigation because to me, it speaks more to I'm making decisions about what I'm doing, where I'm going, and making choices based on that. So the first thing is, what is your destination? So I just spent a ton of time on goals. But it is part of that beginning structure, right? If you don't know where you're headed, how do you know how to navigate there? One of my favorites is SMART goals because it is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So it gives you some structure around that goal. So not just, hey, I'd like to make $100,000 this year. I should say, I just want to make $100,000, but by when? More specificity about what that means, right? And relevant is so very important because that helps you with that shiny object syndrome. Is this goal relevant to what your word for the month, what your overall theme or goals are? And achievable is important as well because you want a stretch goal, but you want it to be achievable. One of my clients was working on adding clients, and he wanted to add 20 clients a month. But part of our conversation was, what is the most number of clients you've added in any one month previously? And his number was 5. So that might be a little bit big chunk, right, to take on for the next month. So we ratcheted that back down and kind of had a little stepping stone to get him to 20, but not within 1 month time. So all these things are important to think about when you think about setting those goals, because you want to be able to achieve them, you want to be able to celebrate, and you want to keep growing, right? Not just stay the same, which gets you to that little bit of an ambitious goal. One thing I'm a big proponent of is planning, because, okay, we have this goal, but how are we going to get there? And this feeds into how you're going to navigate your time. One of my favorite Stephen Covey points is habit number 2, begin with the end in mind. So when you are planning what that goal, to get to that goal, start there and move backwards. I find this is an advantage for 2 reasons. One, it helps you kind of say, okay, I'm here. So the step before there was this, the step before there is that. And it helps you realistically look at how long will those steps take. I often, it's always a learning process, right? Have clients that think they can get their, steps that really should take a week, take, 5 hours. It's like, let's kind of go backwards and really see what that's going to take. So the idea here is to set those action steps. Who's going to do it? Is it you? Is it an outside resource? And what is that date? I also always recommend thinking about the what ifs. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this supplier goes out of business, or the supply of X becomes hard to get? What if something happens to you? I mean, that's really part of that thinking about as well. What if you get sick? What's your backup plan? If you think about this in the beginning, it makes it so much better when it happens, because it's not like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? It's like, okay, I thought about this. Let's look at what I thought about and see what is going to make sense for that. So knowing that destination and the steps you're going to take helps you navigate that time. The other thing is your personal rhythms. And Linda and I actually had a conversation about this one of the last times we worked through this, is can you change your natural rhythms? And the answer is yes. But let's start with where you are right now. So this is quote unquote an average, which is always interesting, right? What makes up an average? Is that average, you can concentrate for 90 minutes and then you need a break for like 20. Now, having worked with people with this for the last couple of years, it is all over the board. And that's why it's important to know what yours is. I've had clients that it's more like 20 is as long as they can concentrate and be productive and they need a break. I actually have a client in Louisiana right now who owns 3 different businesses, which is why I love working with her. But she is a much more she can go like 3-4 hours before she needs a break, because that's what her rhythm has become based on all the stuff she does, in addition to having a child as well, right? So balancing all those things. Oh, which reminds me, one of the most important things about those goals as well is personal and business. Don't just concentrate on business, because we all have stuff going on, right? It's not like I can ignore family or the nonprofit I work with, or having some fun and joy, as we talked about. If all you do is work, that's not going to be successful either. So don't forget to set some personal goals, whether it's a destination you want to get to, time off, that you start working a 4-day week, or start working 5 half days, or some of those personal that will fulfill you kind of things, which always keeps us on track. Now, here's an exercise I would recommend to help you figure out what your personal rhythms are. It's a little detailed, but for a week, track your time, what you're actually doing, and how you feel about it. Are you energized? Are you focused? Kind of on a continuum here. Are you excited about what you're doing? Or are you a 1? I'm like, oh, do I have to keep doing this right now? I really wish I could go take a nap. Those kinds of things. And it makes sense to do it for a whole week, because stuff changes, right? Your Monday's not always like your Thursday, or your Tuesday's not always like your Friday. You don't have to track it while you're asleep. Hopefully you're sleeping through the night, but if you're not, that might be something to track as well. I've actually been doing that. I seem to wake up at 3 o'clock every morning. I'm working on not doing that. But so that's the idea of tracking, and then start looking at it. The people I've worked with going through this process are always finding some profound observations, whether it's the amount of time that's getting lost on stuff. I've had clients that work in offices. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how much time I waste being in the office, because people keep just wanting to chat and stop by and chew the fat and not do something constructive. So for him, for example, he started staying home until noon, and then he went into the office. We did lots of his deep thinking kind of work in the morning without those distractions, and then went in the office in the afternoon to make his appearance and do what he needed to do there, but not lose nearly as much time as he had been when he was there all day. So the idea of getting all of this data is to start making those observations, and what are some quick things you can change. Another client I worked with, Didn't realize how draggy he was in the afternoon until he started tracking it. So for him, we moved his workout time to the afternoon instead of morning. So at 1 in the afternoon, he left the office, went to the gym, worked out, came back, very productive afternoon. He'd had that break, he'd had that physical kind of release and reset, and his mind was clear and focused again, and he had a much better afternoon. So it's getting the data to start making some decisions to navigate what you're doing at that time, to get the best use out of it and the most productivity out of it, to get you to that destination. So Linda, this kind of relates to what you were talking about earlier, which is, okay, now that you did that tracking process, you have a whole list of stuff you do. The first thing to do is look at that list and say, this no longer serves me. It's either a habit that I just have always done it. It was focused on last year's goal and I still enjoy it, but it's not really focused, benefiting me to where I'm going this year. So go through first of all and just say, here's all the stuff that I just can be off the list. Doesn't need to happen. Next, look at what could be delegated or outsourced. There's often some economical decisions that can be made around this. When you think about one, what is the value of your own time? What requires your authority and or expertise? Things that don't fall into that category can be done by someone else. And believe me, I know delegation is not always just a slam dunk. Whew, here you go, it's off my plate. My years in corporate America, one of the ongoing themes for several years in a row in my performance reviews was Alice could learn to delegate more. So I've gone through this process of not really wanting to delegate and let go of stuff, and actually getting to the point where it's easier. Latara will say she's not completely done yet because she's got that perfectionistic streak going, but I'm getting better at it. So making some decisions about, if I outsource bookkeeping and pay X for it, instead of me taking 10 hours to do it at $200 an hour, I'm better off taking my time again with what requires your authority and or expertise and giving this task to somebody else who is an expert at it and therefore more efficient. Now, deferring is always interesting. The way I look at deferring is not that you're procrastinating something, but you're making good decisions about your time. If you have something that's due in February, let's say, it's not a huge task, but it's due in February, put that time on your calendar in like late January. Don't get distracted by doing it today because it's just popped up and you're like, oh my gosh, that'd be something I need to do. Think about when is it due so you can plot out your use of time. Because often we get distracted by things that pop up because it's popped up and you think it needs attention right away. The attention that it needs is, where does it belong? So that you can, again, make the best use of your time today. And then, of course, the things you need to do, your authority, your expertise, and the timing, just do it. Now, I covered a number of things, and I know because I kind of crammed a lot into this shorter time frame. But so the first thing to think about is they're trying to planning your day. You're going to think about it, you're going to plan it, you're going to put the things that make sense on the calendar. And as Linda talked about, putting it on the calendar is the first step of action. Because you just have this list of things you need to get done, but there's never any time on your calendar to do it, because your calendar has all this other stuff on it, it's harder to get it done because you didn't plan any time for it. So, excuse me, so you want to plan your time thinking about where are you going? What are those goals? What is your rhythm? What's your time? How does your day work? And if you need to adjust things based on your rhythm, but what needs to happen. And what I mean by that is looking at what that task is. What's that action item? I still pretty much a night owl, have been a night owl forever. But there's some things you have to do during the day when it's light out, right? You can't just do everything at night. So I do things like, if I have to do something intense, but at my not most productive time of day, I make sure there's a break before that task starts or that meeting starts. Typically, it's that you're interacting with somebody else, right? So before that task starts, and do something. For me, I crank rock and roll music and dance around for 50 minutes. That energizes me, gets my mind reset, And I'm excited because I just enjoyed that last 15 minutes, right? So think about those things for yourself, how you can accommodate doing things that are not your productive time of day, but have to happen at that time of day regardless. And again, making sure you're looking at those things that are both business and personal on your plate. Now, here's some kind of tips and tools and tricks to keep in mind. In addition, so one, prepping the night before or the morning of. If you're a night owl like me, I prep at night before I go to bed. I plan out what's happening tomorrow. If you're a morning person or up at 4 a.m, you can do it in the morning. Always look a week out. Thank you, Linda. I find that stuff shows up in your calendar, right? Especially if you just use something like Calendly, like I do. So meetings get set that I didn't really do myself, right? Look a week out to see what's coming up, what's going on. Do you need some work time for something that got added to your calendar? Because you want to make sure you have that time on your calendar before that. Move it as opposed to reschedule over it. If you've done all this good work to decide what's on your calendar, it's there for a reason, right? So don't just start automatically scheduling over it when something comes up, like a client need or something that's time sensitive. Move it someplace else. Otherwise, you get a week out and go, wow, that didn't get done, so I just kept moving it out, and all of a sudden it's past when it needed to be done by. Daily checklist. If you're a checklist person, I like that. I kind of put that when I do my work time blocks. I put in the description of that time block on my calendar. Here's the things that need to get done in that block. The parking lot, one of my most favorite beloved things. I always have a parking lot for the day because one, something brilliant comes to mind and you're like, oh, I got to do that. I have to add that to the next class. Write it down so you don't lose it, but get it off your mind so you can concentrate on what you're trying to do now and not get distracted by, oh, let me start writing that section or create that slide. Put it on the parking lot, and then you didn't lose it, but you're not worried about forgetting about it. That's one of the things I do in my prep time at the end of the day. Review that parking lot and assign those things where they need to go. Is it done? Do I need to send an email tonight before I go to bed? Do I want time to work on this next Friday? A timer is great, especially if you have the shiny object syndrome. You can use a timer to say, I'm going to concentrate for this 20 minutes and use my parking lot. Or the other way around, you get lost and deep in certain times of work, or I'm seeing certain kinds of work. The timer brings you back to reality to say, oh, I need to check in and see what I'm supposed to be doing now instead. And again, review that day at the end or your morning of time, depending on your what your personal rhythm. So again, take that first step. What are the things I talked about today resonated with you that you thought, well, I should try that. I wonder about that. That might benefit me, and take that action to start it today. And again, step one could be putting it on your calendar to work on or to think about or to speculate about. And I actually, oddly timing, have a workshop starting this afternoon to do in-depth goal work. And in the next 3 weeks, we're going to do the time navigation, because as you might guess, that exercise to track your time for a week is in that class. And so you gotta have that week to do it, right? That's the link that goes to the landing page. It talks about it. If you're interested in that bundle, the goal, which of course is called Chart Your Course, and the actual in-depth time navigation, you can go ahead and register, because we are going to make the recording available if you're not available to hang out with us this afternoon. So thank you so much. Appreciate your time and appreciate the platform, Linda and Sally. Love hanging out with you guys and working with you, and have a great day.
Awesome, Alice. That was great. Thank you so much. I do have a question related to that. First of all, what time is your workshop? Because you're hosting it live, correct?
Yes, it is at 1:30 Central.
Which is 11:30. Oh, so it's like in an hour and a half, correct?
Right. Hence, I'm saying if you're not available this afternoon, we'll send you the recording if you sign up.
Okay, so I put the link in there. It's amp-bundle.now.site. If you're watching us live on Facebook, because I do see there are people watching, which is fantastic. I love it. And they dropped some of their words in the chat there as well. So I
Oh,
just put a
right.
link. I just put a link in the Facebook to the workshop as well. If you're going to join us, go ahead and sign up for that. And I'm signing up. And I see how Sally, I just text my ideas to Linda. She's my parking lot. Yeah. Well, the
As
worst
long as
thing,
you have one that works, right?
okay, here's the worst thing. She just says, I have an idea. And I'm like, what is it? And she doesn't tell me. So that doesn't work for me because I would forget what my idea is. But then again, right, if I forget what my idea is, that means maybe it wasn't that
Maybe
valid of an idea after all.
it wasn't as important.
Yeah,
Just create
exactly.
create a parking lot Google Doc for yourself.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, it's easier just to message Linda.
Or if you're going to message, you can message on Google Doc.
There we go. There we go.
That's right. You can have a
Would you like
shared
that?
parking lot for stuff that is action taker publishing oriented.
Oh, I like that. A shared parking lot that we'll never get to. I love that. I love the idea of the parking lot. I saw Gail love that as well. And the 90-minute, 20-minute, 90-minute, 20-minute, I like that. And I know that's a framework, but really it's for us to figure out what our time
Right.
slots are. And
Right.
are your slides available? Do you have those available for us so that if we wanted to fill out those blanks, do you have a way for us to get that? And if
I
not,
could do,
she will,
I
and she'll
could.
give it to me.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Does anybody have any thoughts, questions, ideas for Alice? Great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gail. Yes.
I just want to say I love the word authority. Right? When I consider myself an authority, that's a completely different mindset than, being the leader, being the boss, being knowledgeable, but being authority has such a power behind it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that word today.
Oh, thank you. I love the
Yes,
feedback.
yes, definitely, definitely. And I love how Laurel says, she says, great reminders. I am conscious of shiny distractions. So I do implement a strategy of no distractions on my computer and phone, which definitely works. I find myself just last night, I was doing something. Don't even ask me what it was because I don't remember. And I said to myself out loud, my husband wasn't anywhere around. I said, what am I doing? And then I said, what was I doing? To get me back. And sometimes it's just like, I needed that snap. Oh yeah, that's what I was doing. So I could get back into it. It happens a lot for me. I get distracted so easily. But what's interesting is when I'm hyper focused, you mentioned the focus time. When I'm hyper focused, I've never paid attention to what is that a certain time of day? Is that after I ate a certain thing, after I got a certain number of hours of sleep? I haven't ever paid attention to that. So I like the idea of paying attention to that because I have gone 4 or 5, sometimes even 6 hours completely super focused with nothing distracting me at all. But that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen on a regular basis. So how can I make that happen on a regular basis?
Well, first of all, is that observation, right? Is tracking what happened before that, or what was the topic? Because usually we can focus longer on things we enjoy. We feel rewarded, fulfilled. We're making progress towards. That usually helps us focus longer. And before I forget, one of my friends has a favorite tool because she has a large distraction problem on her computer. It's called Stay Focused. It's an app for computers, and it lets you set things like, don't let me touch Facebook between these hours. Like if you try to go to Facebook, it comes up and says, forget it. Or you can say, I'm going to be on Facebook half an hour at a time. It will come up and say, hey, you've been on this too long, get off. So that is her favorite tool.
I have a funny story about that. So I worked with a gentleman who had the tool that every so often a woman would come on and go, all right, stand up. And she would stand up from a desk and she would stretch and whatever. So he's in front of all senior leadership of a huge company giving a presentation, and he's not looking at his computer, his projection, and everyone in the room stands up and does a stretch. It was hilarious.
That is great. Yeah.
He was a little embarrassed, but it was cool. We all laughed about it.
That's funny. Alice, you should include that in your presentation because you could put like a a little short video in your presentation?
Yeah.
To look like for something like that, just to see who's listening, who's paying attention, right?
Gail, do you remember the name of that?
Oh gosh, no, I don't
Singer?
remember the
Okay.
name of the app. It was a while ago too, but I'm sure
Shoot.
there's plenty out there, but it's about
Hilarious.
stretching, schedule your stretches.
I'm
So,
writing it on my parking lot, so I look for it later. And don't forget about it.
awesome.
Exactly. I love that. And sometimes the parking lot can be thrown away. Because I used to have an idea box. Every time I came up with an idea, whether like if I was in a restaurant, I would just take the napkin out and I would write it on there. And when I got home, I would throw everything in the idea box. And about maybe every 3 months or 6 months, I would go pull out the idea box and I would look through and I would say, still a great idea. What was I thinking? Throw it away. And so that's how I kind of parsed through my ideas and to realize that that actually, because I didn't realize this until then, that helped me realize that not all of my ideas are great ideas. Because until that time, I thought, of course, all of my, Google Jeopardy. It's a great
Their
example.
time, it's just that their time hasn't come, Linda. That's what it is.
Exactly.
It's a
Maybe
great
I was
idea
ahead of
for
my time.
2027.
I should have kept those ideas that I threw away because maybe they were like great ideas for future that I didn't know was about to come. So
Right.
who
You're
knows?
a visionary and you're throwing it away.
No.
Oh,
Totally. Okay, awesome. So that was a great presentation. Thank you so much for putting that together for us. And what the heck happened here? Hold on. Okay, my message got. Where'd you guys go? You all disappeared. Yes, thank you. Great presentation, Alice. Truly appreciate you. And I love it. I'd love to get a copy of those slides because I want to go through those exercises that you had, the blanks that we could fill in. I would love to be able to go through that. So if you can get that to us somehow, and maybe you have that available at your session today for everybody to download. That should be awesome.
Yes, they are. Exactly.
There we go.
Oh, and just one more quick thing. I just want to give a quick shout out to Latara. She's my graphics person. She's made all
Awesome.
these cool little things in our theme you'll see there's a different graphic for the goal part and stuff. So thank you very much, Latara.